Hi, Alan Schimmel at DevOps.com here again at DevOps Enterprise Summit. I'm joined by Neil Gehani, Product Manager for DevOps at HP. Neil, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So Neil, Product Manager of DevOps. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Right? Tell our audience, what exactly does that mean?
So my responsibility, I came from LinkedIn, so I've only been at HP about 5 months. And my role is to come up with what HP's solution and strategy is going to be around DevOps, and that's my focus, and that's what I'm paying attention to.
So this is DevOps as sort of a product slash service.
Yeah, we haven't decided what sort of constitutes in terms of services associated with it, but we're looking at it from a product standpoint and a solution standpoint. And that's what we're looking at doing.
Excellent. And you were at LinkedIn previously, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Were you doing any DevOps kind of stuff there?
Well, LinkedIn was used to shipping multiple times a day.
Right.
So the process is about delivering software to production faster, and that's the goal, that's the objective that's why we're all here. That's what we're learning about how to do it. We know that a lot of our enterprise customers are just starting up on that journey. They're looking at all the unicorns that have actually done a lot of that, a lot of examples from Netflix to LinkedIn to Google, et cetera. So we're going to help our enterprise customers move along that journey. We know it's a continuum, and they're going to move along that, and we're going to help them do that.
So we've had a few people from HP come up, but they mostly spoke about HP's own internal DevOps journey.
Yes.
This is the first time we're hearing about HP sort of productizing, if you will.
That's right.
Maybe some of the lessons they learned, but that's not unusual. We've seen companies like, I know Rackspace, for instance, took a lot of the lessons they learned and brought it to market.
Exactly.
IBM has also been on its own journey, brought that to market.
Right.
Any kind of insight you can give us on what we might expect from HP along this, or is it too early?
So it's too early for us to do that. We just started sort of working on what the use cases would be that we want to solve. So we know that if we do build something like this, we want to build it in DevOps fashion and actually have a team that's dedicated and focused on doing this and accelerating the pace of development internally as well, because we have to do that in order for us to have credibility in the marketplace. That if we don't, just like our HPIT team has done that internally, we're going to learn a lot of lessons from them and use that in the way we productize our solutions for the future.
Excellent. And Neil, you've had a chance now to be here at DevOps Enterprise Summit a few days. What's your impression?
Well, I'm very, very impressed. I've learned so much during this period here. Obviously, learned a lot in the last 5 months being very immersed in DevOps. But the two big trends that I see happening here, one is I think that customers have to get their hands wrapped around is microservices and containerization. These two things coming together, they're both on a hockey stick path.
Yeah.
And I think people need to start to embrace that methodology. It doesn't mean, what I've heard also is that people are afraid of the word culture, and culture doesn't necessarily mean like we're trying to change your organization. What culture means is how you actually deliver software into production faster. So we're talking about the software delivery culture as opposed to thinking about like the organizational culture, because you have to fit within that. And so we want to enable our customers to make that happen for them. But it's going to start to happen with small teams within large organizations, and that's how we should start.
Okay, last question for you, Neil. This is still, we've barely scratched the surface, it seems, though we see so many companies up here talking about their journeys. Where do you see this going in, let's say, 3 to 5 years?
I think it's going to be amazing journey. I think people will, the pace at which people will start to deliver software faster and faster will accelerate. I think it will accelerate much faster than people think. And sort of the notions, what I said was, what's happening with like how Craigslist disrupted classified, or what Uber is doing to the transportation industry. So I don't think any industry is going to be immune from this. I think the rate of disruption is going to be extremely fast. Even Jamie Dimons was looking at small companies like Venmo and having a direct impact on the way they do banking in the future. So I think every company will be a technology company trying to do something. So if you think about a banking company, they're a technology company that does banking, not a banking company that has technology, right? And so that shift is already starting to happen, and because of the rate of change, because of the pace of change of technology, that pace of change is going to just accelerate over time, and we're going to see that happen. And I think it's going to be good for the industry as a whole, and good for software industry and HP E in particular.
I agree. I think that's going to take us to the end of our interview. But Neil, I wanted to wish you, first of all, success in the new position with
Thank
HP. Love to hear as we start seeing, product services, DevOps solutions coming out of HP. We'll look at them at DevOps.com and hope to see you at next year's DevOps Enterprise Summit.
I look forward to being here next year as well.
Thank you. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com.